good, people? So as you guys can tell from the title of the video here, I'm going to be taking you through my ranged build here. Obviously the ranged characters in Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Striker excel at the best distance here. So I'm going to start off with I use the Crimson Hidden Leaf Dagger. It's a size weapon that you get with his character or whatever. The speed is decent on it. I like it because it's very close range, but at the same time leaves a lot of space for you to use your kunai. And I prefer the Senbon actually over the Demon Wind Shuriken, solely because the Senbon can deflect ninja tools and interrupt enemy ninjutsu, which is huge for me. And I can just kind of tap it just to kind of keep space and maybe keep sting somebody in place so I can kind of get away and get back to that range. The CAC cape, there's nothing much I can really say about it. That's more of a look thing than anything else. You know, they say, you know, look good, feel good, play good. And especially with Deidara being my guy, I had to rep that. I like the Tendo earrings as well here though, simply because they instantly refill a set amount of health after you defeat an enemy, which is huge, especially in, you know, a meta. And I play a lot of solo queue and maybe with another friend, and a lot of times we either have one healer or no healers at all, so it's kind of big that I can get that health back as long as I'm getting kills. And I like the detonating clay twin birds here as well, simply because these birds will follow you to the gates of hell and back. It's a very slow moving projectile, but the tracking on them is absolutely ridiculous. If you time it just right and you knock somebody down, even when they have that invincibility time in terms of their recovery, you can still get it to a point where, you know, the birds hit them as soon as they get up. And then I like the Super Beast Scroll too. This is size ninjutsu. He draws, you know, a couple of the lions here, and the lions take off after the target. It's a much faster moving projectile, but the tracking on them is nuts as well. And so neither of those ninjutsu are very high damage, but at the same time the tracking is ridiculous, so I get a lot of hits. And if you guys have ever been hit by this ink clone here, what happens is if you attack an ink clone, it leaves an ink splotch on your screen, and it pretty much takes away your knowledge of what ninjutsus you have off cooldown and everything else as well. And so I really like that because, one, the ink gets in the way of everything else, and two, a lot of people don't realize what they have up, if they have a substitution, if they have a ninjutsu that they can still use. So if you've ever been hit by this, you kind of know exactly what I'm talking about. And of course I had to go with Deidara's C4 Karuna, just because the explosion, a lot of times you can take advantage of other players' aggression and kind of catch them off guard. And with the big explosion in that area of space, it's an easy way to get a lot of quick kills. So now that we've gone through the build, I'll go ahead and take you guys through some gameplay and kind of show you how I use this. So as you guys can see, we're playing combat village on combat battle on the rain village here. Combat village. We do have one healer on the team, which is huge. Anytime we can get a healer on the team, I feel like we're always at an advantage. But I always like on combat battle, especially on this map, to take the high ground here on this left side. If I can take the high ground here on the left side, I know where the scroll spawns, so I can kind of drop down and do as I please from there. See the healer right away, so I wanted to target him. Sick the birds on them, and as you can see, the tracking on those twin clay birds is absolutely nuts. And the only way I found out to avoid them is if you run around a corner and they chase you at too sharp of an angle. They're kind of no brain in that sense. If you guys didn't know, when you cast the Super Beast Scroll, the lions anyways, if you're in the air, you just kind of whip out a scroll and throw the ink across them. Other than right there when I was standing on the ground and you had to put the scroll all the way on the ground and drag the ink across it to activate the ninjutsu. So it's actually faster if you detonate that in the air. So whenever I use the Super Beast Scroll, I always try and jump at least one time there, just so I can kind of get that, you know, activation out of the way, unless I do have the time and the space in order to do it on the ground. That was me trying to use the Senbon right there too, like I talked about in my earlier build. And obviously if the birds have nothing to track, they're gonna end up flying into a wall or just flying until they blow up here. And I kind of get stuck in a 2-on-1, and I'll show you why I like the Senbon so much. So I stuck both of those guys with the Senbon one time, and yeah, I have the healing scroll, which is probably the only reason I survived this 2-on-1 encounter. But at the same time, I'm able to sting people, and it's a 3-on-1 right now. But I can sting people with the Senbon, kind of create some distance, and I'm able to get away for long enough with the healing scroll activated that my teammates were able to catch up, and since they couldn't kill me in a 3-on-1, my teammates obviously catch them at a disadvantage here, and we can kind of just jump on this team's aggression for the most part. And you'll see me charging ninjutsu. As a ranged character, you always want to keep yourself at more of a distance, because obviously that's where you excel more than in close range combat. I generally like to, I'll spam the kunai as long as I have the space, but I'll probably use the light attack to start a combo. And with the twin clay birds, the tracking on those is crazy, but at the same time, as you can see, when the enemy ninja was using the subterranean voyage, they weren't able to track him on the ground like that. But I always use my ranged ninjutsu in order to kind of jump on people, create space. As you can see, I'm never engaging too close to other people here. I'm just using the senbon and the ranged kunai spam to kind of keep that defense tight at a distance here. And I see that they've slept a couple of my teammates, so I use the senbon there just to sting some of them so they can't get as much value out of that sleep ultimate that they did. And it's easier to dodge the Super Beast Scroll Lions than it is the Twin Clay Birds, just because the Twin Clay Birds move at such a slower rate and they follow you. They have better tracking than the Super Beast Scroll does, and obviously it should be that way. Here I do see the enemy activating an enemy ninjutsu, you know, the water prison, so I might as well pop my ninjutsu right next to him with the C4. No way he's getting away from that, and it's an instant kill. So even though he trapped 2 of my teammates in a water prison, we're able to jump on this guy after I kill him because we have the advantage. 2-on-1 turns into a 4-on-1, and we dispose of him pretty quick there as well. And I like the senbon too, because as you can see, that was a long distance. He's running in a straight line, so he doesn't know that I'm going to try and pursue him. But at the same time, it has some really good speed on it. And now I've isolated the healer kind of by themselves over here. And anytime you can get a healer in a 1-on-1, especially away from his team, that's all the more power to you. And the twin clay birds come out right here. As you can see, he's trying to run away, trying to jump, but he really has nowhere he can dash to or anything like that. And so I use the senbon to kind of sting and combo into a kunai spam. And I'll do that because the senbon, when it hits him, kind of keeps them, freezes them in place for just a portion of a second, but it's enough where you can kind of mix your combos in and combo into that. So that's the big reason why I really like this build for sure. As you can see, the Super Beast Scroll with the Lions and the Twin Clay Birds don't do too much damage, but they both have really good tracking, and I pretty much use them as you would an assist character in a fighting game in order to continue the chain of combos or continue the chain of damage that you have going there. I've been using this art build for a while, and this has been by far my favorite range build. Like I said, Deidara is one of my favorite characters, but aside from that, I really like the ninjutsu with the Twin Clay Birds, the C4, the Ink Clone, and the Super Beast Scroll Lion. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Make sure if you do like the range type, try playing around with the Super Beast Scroll and the Twin Clay Birds and the setup that I have running, you know, with the senbon and everything, because I think it gives you a real advantage, and it's a really fun play style on top of everything else. So if you guys make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll catch you all on the next one.